your book where you decide that there might be a way to learn a little bit more by speaking to a maestro. So Xavi, who occasionally I WhatsApp as well, and always I get back fun, and he's interesting. And recently I watched him doing a briefing for the media off the record, and it was 40 minutes of just like, it was like being in Harvard, but also So you got in touch with Xavi. What were you asking him? And I've read the responses because you published them.
Yeah.
Give us the detail of what he was trying to explain to you in order to aid your development. Give us the full picture.
Yeah, you see, and now that you make me this question, his answer is probably defining the way he understood football as well. My thing was, I was feeling that I was playing good and enjoying myself, but there were a couple of actions during the game that I was giving the ball away too easily, or I was not fully on it. And then me alongside another guy that helps me to analyze games and
Damian,
yeah, tactically he's I think he's a very bright guy. We thought, which player can we watch in order to get you understand how you can be fully focused during 90 minutes. And then of course Xavi came to our head. He was a player that I can remember him missing a pass or having a bad game. He was unreal. And then we went and watched some of his games, but then I thought, why don't I just ask him, because I've got his number. I've talked to him a couple of times. He's been always very, as you said, he's been always very helpful. He's a very good guy. So I dropped him a message, asked him that question, what can I do in order to be always there, to have that consistency during all my season, game in, game out. And his answer was very clear but very honest. That he said that he hated giving balls away, even in training. He said that I would come out in training and think, I'm not going to give any ball away today. I'm going to make sure, even in rondos, even in ball possessions where you have a lot of pressure, that I was in the right position. I was making that first touch perfectly. I was always giving the pass in the right area and with the right intention. And during the games, that just followed me through, like that mindset of making sure that during the training sessions I was always very critical with myself. He even said that I was sometimes even too critical with myself, but that allowed me to be always that consistent.
So one of the things that I love that he said was, yeah, I've been watching you, because he watches everything. Yeah. He's obsessive, but he gave you a way. I think he was trying to say to you, he talked about like it was part of his upbringing, and that it was more than just about with the ball. He was obsessive about not failing, never making mistakes. Yeah. That thing about being obsessive about not making mistakes, like in life, not just in football, it's a good thing. It can be a bad thing if you give yourself too much pressure. Things that are good can also be bad. But in your case, he was saying the way to concentrate more is to tell yourself every pass, every reception of the ball is treat it like the last time I'll ever be given a football, right?
Yeah. And the fact of hating giving a ball away or hating making a mistake kept him active, kept him always on his toes, kept him always wanting to do the right thing. And this style of football, this philosophy of always having the ball, you have to play like that, because if you just take a simple pass or a forward pass as a one more, then you're going to make more mistakes. But always having to make the right one, receive it the right areas, put the ball in the right place and with the right intention, then it's more unlikely that you give the ball away.
So are you what Xavi would call, are you a pivote, but by nature?
I felt more comfortable in that position, but I also love defending as well. So I'm in between those areas and getting into the middle and trying to connect with players. When I was able to play with some great players in the middle, like in Valencia, even here in Southampton, and I'm behind them and they're the more creative ones. I just give them the ball and they can play between the lines, turn, create, put the last pass. That's where I felt most comfortable. I do the dirty work and they can do the creative one.
But I'm not a big basketball fan, and I think that football has stolen the word pivote from basketball, I think. But my understanding of a pivote is that a really good pivote does what you've described, but also circulates the possession too. And it felt, certainly when I was watching you come through, that you were equipped certainly mentally and in terms of your use of your passing, to do both. That you could, okay, not be the 10 between the lines, but a pivote is kind of like the nerve centre through which everything travels, and maybe ugly possession becomes good possession.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and probably looking at the best matches or the matches I've enjoyed the most is the one that I touched the ball a lot, and of course I defended and I could put some tackles in and winning headers, but being able to circulate that ball, being able to touch it, to be close to it, to attack again and again, that's when I enjoyed it.
Does it feel in those moments that not like I'm the best, but this game is mine?
Yeah.
If you're on the ball, you're like, yeah, now there, and you're thinking that, and if I draw him, and then
Yeah, you control the tempo of the game, and then you can also see if the nicest feeling is okay. They're coming to press us, but we're gonna find an option. We're gonna find solutions because we're so synchronized that we're moving in a way that we always find either the third man or 1-2s to get out of the pressure. And that feeling is amazing. It doesn't happen very often in this league because it gets crazy and there's so many ups and downs. Control a game for 90 minutes, it's really hard. But when that comes, it's a joyful moment.